not too sure if I'm audible or not. I cannot hear myself. I cannot hear anything. And I hope that people can hear me because I cannot hear myself. I am unable to hear anything. I'm not too sure what is happening. But I hope, because right now I'm going to have to excuse myself and grab another system because this other system, for some reason, was in charge. And that's the feed into my ears, and that's gone. And so I'm not too sure if I'm still audible or not. I think I am because I can see my system, but for some reason, okay. So what is happening? Okay, so let's get it going. I think I can hear myself. But I'm going to go and start a fight with my daughter because I'm going to borrow her earpiece so that I'll be able to hear myself from my mixer here because my battery is on this thing. I thought it was charged, but it's not charged, obviously. So bear with me. The Freetown music really got me going there for a minute. I thought I was on the move. But yeah, I am. It's dead. Now I have a choice. I can either not listen. I can just watch the video and not listen to the video and use this other stuff to be able to listen to the mixer. And then that way I avoid all of the confusion with my daughter. Or I go in there. I'm the father. I am the father. I'm going to go and yank it from her. I'll just take it. Yeah. Yeah. I wish you follow me when I go in there because she's a lawyer. You don't yank anything from Baina. The Baina Ikran, me, Pepper woman. I go in there right now and say, give it to me. First thing she's going to say, what is the magic word? Because that's her stuff. So then I'll say, please, may I have it? Okay, how long you going to have it for? Give her the time. When you bring it by, is my stuff going to be charged? You see where I'm going with this thing? First, I'm going to go start with my wife, and I'm sure she will say no because she's doing her homework and what have you. And I asked the daughter, and the daughter most likely going to let me have it, but we're going to go through a law. So I can't go in there and try to run over these women. There's no way. The women in the house, I can't run over now. The two boys, because they are competition, so I can go and yank it from there anytime, and then they come and talk to me. I said, whatever you want to do. You know, but the ladies, I have to be very careful because Baina is a Pepper woman. That's my mom name, Pepper woman. You don't play with her. As little as she is, I think I brought her on here the last time about the rape issue in Liberia. You guys saw how she dealt with that. So she's not somebody that you can just run to. But anyway, I will push my fatherly weight around a little bit. I wish I leave a mic on so you can listen to the conversation. But I don't want to do that because the wife might not want people to hear what she's saying. So I'll just leave the music on. Stay with me. It's going to be a very interesting show tonight. Obviously, then it's not starting well. But of course, God is in control. This thing is not going to control my show. God's already ordained this show tonight. He's already blessed this show. So we're going to talk about it. So stay with me while I go in there and see if I can. Because I need to hear myself as I'm talking to you. I can hear it from this one. I can see the other monitor and the green light going up and down. The other monitor here, I can see when I do myself like this. I can see that there's another monitor sitting down here. So I can see myself all around. But I like to hear myself from the mixer. So that way, when I'm saying something or when you guys call me, then I'll be able to hear that. So stay with me. Samson told LeBron Pabrito. I haven't even started the show. I started explaining already. Let's go with the Freetown music. That Freetown music is so sweet. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm going to play it. But one of the things, if you go and research it, try to play this music very low, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on a Friday afternoon. Now weekdays when you have to go to work. But load the music and play it real low. Guess what? When I was in Liberia, EJ Raw time, music like this, you lower it. And in a room, because the house, you don't own a house, you live in a room, you rent a room. So in my room, I had lights, red lights, green lights. So I turned the lights on, the green and red. So if you have money, then you buy the disco light that goes around in your room, like a disco club. But then it goes around and then they shine all the light, red, blue, everything. If you have money, if you can afford it. But those of us that were not up to par at that time, we were still making that $100 a month. We were able to buy light bulb, red light bulbs, and put it on different color. And then you play the music very low. It's unbelievable. Samson told that Bron Pablo, stay with me. I'll be right back. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm talking about. I can hear myself. Okay, I think I can hear myself. Okay, I think I can hear myself. So, okay, all right. Let's do this. Let's forget about this and use the both of them and see. Okay, hello, Samson Toll. Can you hear me, Mr. Toll? Yes, I can. Can you? Yes. Okay. You see how crazy this thing does? Let's go ahead. Thank you, folks. Thank you. It's going to be a little bit, I don't know why this thing was not charging. I'm not too sure why. But anyway, let's go ahead. I blame Alfonso So and Nathaniel Cry Paul. They're the one make me not to charge my thing. I blame them. Anything that goes wrong, I blame those people. Anyway. But folks, good evening. First thing first. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us together. My Lord, thank you for guiding us. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your healing power. Thank you, Lord. We continue to pray to you, praise you, because without you, we're nowhere. Because of you, this disease, the cure going to come very soon. Not cure, but the vaccine will come very soon. And because of you impacting men knowledge on how to do these things, you're just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. And we ask you to continue to bless us. Bless our home. Bless everything else we touch. Lord Jesus, we have our sisters and brothers that usually go to these places where they say, oh, there's a disease here, but these people go out there. We all go out to work. My Lord, it's not because we want to dress, buy clothes, and buy nice car and what have you, but we're working, my Lord, because we have a home, 2 homes to feed. We have a home back home, which is a table back home we put on their family to feed. We have family here in the diaspora to feed as well. And because of faith we have in you, we're not that worried because we know you can protect us. And we will continue to pray to you. And we ask you for your continued protection. In Jesus' name, no, not yet. Forgive me, my Lord, not yet. Jesus, bless the country of Liberia. Bless our leaders. Give them wisdom to do good for our people. Bless the host country. In Jesus' name we pray now. Amen. Thank you. Folks, like I said, it's going to be a very nifty show here tonight. Bring your game. Bring your game face. Write whatever you want to write. Tonight is going to be a little bit different. The intent here again tonight is not to degrade. It's not to say we want to, because we dislike. I'm going to be pointing out things, facts here, as far as I'm concerned. And most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing, they are documented issues. They are public records. There's not anything to say I have a hidden agenda or what have you. But then, of course, you have the right to disagree with me. It is your right. And you must disagree with me if you don't think I'm right. But all that I ask is that you give me the opportunity to tell you my side, what I think. You can disagree with me, but do so with respect. Because we're here to respect each other. This is an intellectual platform. And some of the video that I'm going to be playing tonight, I'm warning you in advance. I didn't make those videos. People make those videos, and people emotion was raw when those audios were being made. So they use a language that I am not comfortable playing on my show. So I went in and tried to clean it as much as possible. Some of the words that I don't want people to use on my platform were used on this audio. So I clean it as much as possible. But if I continue cleaning, then it will dilute the message that I'm trying to convey here. So I'm warning you in advance. There will be some language here tonight that many of you might not be comfortable with. I know many of you have seen these audios, the video. I mean, it's not something that is hidden. These are Liberian audios. I mean, they're all over this place. We all have heard it raw. But the fact that I'm going to play it on my show, I want to play the clean version of it. But it's difficult, but I'll do my best. Because why? I respect you, the audience. Not that you don't have anything to do on a Friday afternoon for which you want to watch and sit and watch me. And the fact that you're there watching is a sign of respect. And I'm going to show the same respect to you. There are many Liberian platforms right now as we speak that are ongoing. But you decide to come on my show, and we shall have to show respect to you as well. Because it's a form of respect. You're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid either. But we do these things as a way to have conversation. And the fact that you are there watching, I say thank you. And I must do everything in my power to respect you as a human being and to respect you as a family member. Because many of you have family. So these things playing, you never know what's going to come out. So the fact that if I were in your shoe, sitting in my living room, have you on my big screen TV with my family, my kids around, I want the language that comes out there to be a little bit clean. And so I'm warning you in advance. I did my best to clean it up as much as possible. But some was just difficult to do. So you will hear a few languages that are not comfortable. We use those languages from time to time, among ourselves from time to time. But a certain language that I, Samson Toll, will not play. So if it means for me to cut the video up and down, cut it, the audio cut it, I will. That particular word will not be aired here on my platform. So I want to thank you. Let's go ahead. Let's start the show. It's going to be interesting. If you've been reading the title already, it's going to be very interesting. This is an advice to this government. I'm not coming in as an opposition tonight. I have, like I said, the government have given me a lot, minor fault of error, unforced error the government have given me. When the time comes for campaign, I will use those error against the government. But what I'm here to do tonight is not to criticize, it's not to degrade, but to point out some facts. Because if this government is successful, we all succeed. Every one of us as Liberians. Whether you like this government or not, if this government doing well for the people of the Republic of Liberia and the people are successful, we all will be joyful. So this is one of those times, even though I consider myself opposition, strong opposition, but sometimes I sing CDC song, who cares? Hey, what are you going to do to me? Nothing. I sing CDC song, sometimes I come out here and praise Dr. Weir. And sometimes even Samuel 12, I praise Samuel 12 from time to time. If you do good, I will say so. Tonight program, let me say again, is a form of an advice coming through a platform. And these people don't even listen to me anyway. But I just thought that I'd give an advice. Just like this, for example. You're driving, going on a long trip. You alone in the car. You can be talking to yourself, laughing. And some other people enjoy that. This is the thing, except I have most of you watching tonight. And so I want to have this conversation with you. Even if the government people refuse or they're not even watching, that's okay. But I want to thank you. Let's start the show. It's going to be interesting. As usual, let's start with the President of the Republic of Liberia, on whose leadership we all seem to be safe. To be honest with you, I don't see people in prison, political prisoner and what have you. That's Dr. Weir, President of the Republic of Liberia, duly elected, 61.5%. Joe Biden, the United States President, he gets 60. He got 50.1. Dr. Weir got 61.5%. 61. So he beat Joe Biden by 10 point something. So that's a huge amount. But that's not the point. The issue here is, this is Dr. Weir, President of the Republic of Liberia, folks. We will criticize, but we will do so with responsibility. We will criticize, but we will do so with respect. Why? Why do I always make these words first? Reason being is this. Any of you can sit in our office tomorrow. There's nobody, none of you, people you watching me right now, every one of you have the opportunity to be President of the Republic of Liberia tomorrow, based on the Constitution. If the Constitution allows, you have the opportunity to be president. And we always want people to respect you. You want people to respect you, but we will criticize. But we must do so with respect. And from that perspective, Samson Toe is here again tonight. I'm going to be showing you a lot of video here tonight. And the issue here tonight is very interesting. Very interesting. Because why? Many of us as Liberians that travel all over the world, everyone will want to, if they have the opportunity, will want to do it, will want to travel to the United States. However, other brothers and sisters are just comfortable in other countries. But United States relationship to Liberia is unique, and we know that. I'm not here to talk history. I don't even know history anyway. But we all know the history between Liberia and that of the United States. Our relationship is unique. Everything that happened in this place tend to percolate to Liberia, tend to just easily move from here to Liberia. Back in the 70s, they used to do bear banner here. Before you know, polyester bear banner were all over Liberia. Back in the 70s, they used to have these jackets, especially African American, these jackets where they get peace on them, they get trucking this way, up the got patched all over. Before you know, Liberians were wearing those same things. They used to have platform shoes here in the United States. Before you know, platform shoe was in Liberia. So the culture of American, especially African American, the culture is always there. When Afro started here, before you know, even in total, my mom was wearing Afro. She only did it one time, and after that she said, no, I'm not going to try the one again. Oh my God. I can just see her now, the way she was walking from Old Man Shoro house coming to her place with the afro. And she was a beautiful woman, that's for sure. But the way she had her afro, it was. But anyway, that's afro. Anyhow, so everything that happened in this country tend to come back to Liberia, good or bad. Okay? Now, with that understanding, I hope you're with me. With that understanding, we cannot divorce ourselves from what is happening here in the United States. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up with us. If we're not ready, we're going to be left behind, because the culture here in the United States going to eventually take root in Liberia. People will use their book for math, science, and what have you. Everything. We go through with the ABC that they do here. The Prima 1, Prima 2, everything here, we do the same thing. So I'm just giving you the background here tonight, folks. Okay. So before we go to Liberia, where are we now? Those of you that have been in the United States for more than 4 or 5 years, where are we right now in terms of social norm in this country? What are some of the things that you think America, especially in our African American community, what are some of the things people are now looking at in terms of social mobility, in terms of liberal view, because I'm a liberal, so I got to put that in there. Let me help you out. One of the most interesting and most talked about in the African American community and in the overall community of the United States is what they call Me Too movement, where women rights are very, very in the front page of everything right now. They've always been there. Women and kids in this United States, you don't play with them. They have more power than any other thing. But now, they have taken a step further, which is good, because those of us that have daughters, they're saying to the American people and to the society in general, if a woman is qualified to work, she must be respected for her position. You can't say because she's a woman, and so because you think you can just do whatever you want to do, that ain't happening anymore. You can't say, I'm going to do X, Y, to Z for you if you can do X, Y, to Z for me. These kinds of things do not happen anymore. Look at Hollywood. Some of the Hollywood mogul, some of these big shots in Hollywood are in jail because of Me Too movement. These things are coming to Liberia. We have to prepare ourselves. If the Liberian culture, which is dominated by men, if we do not try to take that right now, there'll be a clash of culture very soon. What do I mean by that? You have American here, you have Liberians, young Liberians that are here studying, highly educated, fathering the norms of the United States. And one of the norms of the United States, you don't go around violating women's rights. You don't go around beating women in the house because you're married to them. Ain't happening. So these Liberians, young Liberians that are now here in the United States, they are part of that culture. The young girls, Liberian young girls, will not let you talk down to them. They are part of that culture. And eventually, they will want to go back home. So people back home, if you don't prepare yourself, the group that will come, you're going to have issues because they will not give in. And they are just as Liberian as you are. So what do we do then? Clash of issues. It's going to be interesting tonight. I told you, I'm not playing around with this one. Okay? So, let's go back into the issue of the government of the Republic of Liberia. I keep saying this. Yeah, you will say, oh, Liberia since 1840 something. Yeah, I agree. But one man, one vote, true democracy, 2005. 2005, as far as I'm concerned. The first president of the Republic of Liberia, 2005, was a lady, a woman. So you see, this is very interesting if you think about it. We decided to do the Me Too square or cube, Me Too cube or whatever 4 times. We decided to do a Me Too. We were the first before they started a Me Too here. We put women in power of all of us. But what was happening? The lady was at the top, but at the bottom, from the power to the base, it was hollow, my opinion. Big time hollow. We have a woman president, and people are beating their wives in Liberia. We have a woman president, and the rape issue was uncontrollable in Liberia. So while we consider ourselves putting ourselves at a Me Too cube level, at the bottom of it, there was nothing, no structure to hold that up. No structure. We decided to build a roof with nothing to hold it. And now it's clumbering all over us, around us in Liberia. And this is what I want to address here tonight, folks. Okay? My man, you will enjoy me tonight. Well, after tonight, you will truly enjoy. No, seriously, let's engage. So, Madam Salid left. The new government came in. And when they came in, they too decided to go along with the Me Too cube 3 times. 3 square or whatever is a 3 square, 3 cube, whatever you want to call it. But those that were in power were not quite ready to accept that a lady would be second in command. They thought by Madam Salid leaving power, they were done. So where were they when they selected the VP to be their candidate, a woman? Were they not ready, or they were just fooling us? So here's the interesting thing now. The government of Dr. Weah and Madam Taylor decided to come together and form this unique government, which was interesting. It was unique. The first week into their governing system, into their governing process, Madam Taylor was so anxious to show the power of their coalition. Madam Taylor was so anxious that, yes, I found a group that I can work with. We're going to work and we're going to do things differently in this country. She's not dumb. She knew she was a woman. She knew she was in a power where men were dominating all around her. So she was not dumb. But she thought, I believe, that she was being accepted, fully a partner in this whole deal. So what did she do? With that kind of mindset, that yes, these people accept me. Madam Taylor, she's not a stranger to Liberian culture. Was she not the same Madam Taylor that her husband told to go ask her father that her father used to marry to 6, 7 wives? So why can't he do the same thing? Was that not the same Madam Taylor? So she's not a stranger to Liberian men's behavior towards women. But she thought, with all these young men around her, she thought that these young men, some of them having been traveling all over, that they were on the path to accept her as partner in this process. So she went on with that mindset. Yes, I've been accepted. They will back me. We're here as an equal. Madam Taylor. But at that time, she didn't know that. So she went on. The first place, what do we do, folks? The first thing when you get big job in Liberia, what the first place you run? That to your village. You run to your county or your village. Because those are people you know that they know you. You can open your mouth anytime because those are your brothers and sisters. So what did she do? She went home and she decided to talk. Listen to this. Samson told Labron Public Radio, folks, stay with me tonight and let's try to digest and dissect whatever it is that I'm putting out. Okay? So when she got on the stage, from Front Page Africa, most of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you tonight from Front Page Africa, good people, they've been helping us out a lot and I appreciate it. But this was a statement. Join CDC or get fired. Because she believed that she was on the same page with these young men of Sidisha hierarchy, these young men. She thought they have accepted her as partner. So she was speaking, join us. Because when Unity Party were here, many of you, in order to get any kind of job, you work with them. So in order for you to work for in this kind of position, you got to join us, which makes sense. Because what did she say? And I will show that later. She said, in Africa, many political leaders believe in a system after she wise up now. At the time, then the song was still playing. But after she wise up, she made a statement. In Africa, many political leaders believe winner takes all. So from that perspective, having realized or thinking, believing that she was on the same page with these people and that they have accepted her fully, she went on. So first thing is to tell people you want job for CDC, you have to join CDC. Listen to this.
I informed the superintendent when she arrived here on Monday afternoon that the only way her corps of officers could begin to do work is if they were inducted into office. Truthfully, all of the 13 commissioners might not be members of the coalition. We got one or two that might not be. You will join because other people join the United Party. So I'm waiting for you to call me to your district to tell me that you're joining the ruling coalition, those who are not members. Now, hey, the Bible says, how can two work together if they don't agree? For us to agree, we must all be on the same side. So if you think you can't make it, then you tell we find somebody else. Yeah. Anybody want to feed the night hour, you're talking down before we go far. Yeah. Our right well, part of the meeting of the commissioners. And somebody now talking there. So you're just on board with your whole heart and your whole mind. So show you the fact that here and I'm a member of the coalition. Because then I will accept everybody. Whatever you have done to me, nothing you will do. I'm a son. Telling from the CDC, our superintendent, all of the other local government officials said they our government our best right to other people. Now what time to eat? We eat, but we eat in a way that everybody will be able to eat.
that time, as I said before, she was under the impression that they were all equal. She has been accepted in the club. And why would she not think that? Most of the people around the CDC hierarchy were educated. And she felt within herself, well, yes, the culture of our country is here. It's like this. I know. But these other young people, they have traveled around the world. So they perhaps understand now that these kinds of behavior, people are trying to get away from them. Okay? So why would she not believe that? Why would she not believe that? I would have believed that myself. Now, quite recently. And I'm just giving you here, and I give it that I will fill in the gap later. Quite recently. Interesting. This is the same lady that you just heard. It's my time. It's our time. We will eat. Listen to her now. Quite recently. Not more than 2 weeks or so ago. Quite recently. Let's listen what she have to say now. It's my time. We will eat and we must eat. Y'all can't join all. You ain't join all. Y'all move. We're not waiting for y'all. But listen now. Samson told LeBron Public. Interesting, folks. Interesting. And I will fill in the gap. What happened from this position to what she's going to be saying now? Listen to this.
Come to explain. So you think about it. You open your eyes and your ears. Any money they want bring to eat, you let it. If they bring your money, you eat it because they'll be bringing money to divide. But anybody will bring money to divide, they're not in your eater tomorrow. They will say, I pay for that food. Ain't you not here before? Yeah. So they bring their money here, you eat it. That free money, that stolen money. Because nothing you wife have for you, just take it and divide it like that. The only money people can divide, that money what you wife up. A person should not be bribing people for vote. You should come and talk to your citizens, explain to them what you would like to do, and then ask them for the vote. If they gotta come bribe you, tomorrow you will not see it. But the man you so kind of before, you will not see it. You come to explain. So you think about it. You open your eyes and your ears.
There we go. What happened? What happened from it's our time? Join CDC or you're out. What happened? What happened? What happened from that time to when they bring your money, you eat it? That stolen money. That stolen money. It's my time to eat. From that point, my time to eat to now. What happened? What happened, folks? What's the change? What happened in between? And in the between part is what I'm going to be filling in here tonight. It might take some time, but like I said, give me the opportunity to make my case. And the case that I'm going to be making is very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So before we go into all of that, let's see the new player in this game of chess or whatever you want to call it. They are new players. New players. The Me Too movement is coming into play. The Me Too movement. Interesting, folks. Very interesting. This government, Dr. Weah and his people have to be very careful how this vice president is treated. And I'll give you my recommendation here before I close tonight. But I think they have to understand where we are. We have a new Joe Biden administration coming in. Vice President, African American. The UN ambassador, African American. Former ambassador to Liberia. Before that, she spent in the 70s, she spent 1 year studying in Liberia. Interesting dynamic. Okay, so let's go. Let me just show you this lady. she's now going to be, if the confirmation process goes through well for her, she will now be the ambassador, U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. You know her. She was in Liberia, I believe, from 2008 to 2012, I believe, for 4 years, I think. Okay? And she's highly connected. Yes, the other interesting thing, she used to, until recently, she used to be chair of Madame Saliv, Madame Saliv Foundation, Ellen Johnson Foundation for Women. She used to be chair of that program. And if you go on YouTube, if you go and do your research, three other ladies, including Madame Saliv, they had a conference, and the conference was going live, where they were discussing women power. CDC government, y'all be careful with Madame Saliv. I mean, with Madame Taylor. She's not a slush, highly educated. But let's go. This gonna come. Just stay with me, folks. The reason why I'm doing this tonight, because I don't want when time comes tomorrow, many of us say, oh, what happened? No. We should also be able to understand the dynamic. This lady, Madame Saliv, and the Me Too movement in America, including the incoming vice president, they will not allow Liberia, the government of the Republic of Liberia, to steamroll the vice president who is a woman. It won't happen. You do that, you get serious issue on your hand. You can even call for, sovereignty or whatever. They're not going to respect your sovereignty. You go mess with this vice president and try to mistreat her. Yes, another thing you have to understand, and I will show you that. Few months ago, she was contemplating resigning. She wanted to resign from the post. A lady who just told you when to bring the money, you'll eat it. She has given herself. After she came back from Ghana with that COVID stuff, it looked like she was there regenerating herself. Now she has gotten to a point, you bring it on. Whatever you got, you bring it on. I'm not leaving. And I think she's thinking herself in a position. And so you're going to have to be very careful. You got nothing over there to produce. China what China going to give you? What Chinese going to give you? They give you money and then they take whatever they want to take. And sooner or later, you start selling things over there that you're not supposed to sell. Sanction coming. They will not fool around with anybody in Liberia. Knowing that, especially this lady, and knowing our history with United States, you get up and start selling Liberian resources without even real justification because you want money. You're quiet. So this is an advice. We have to be very, very careful, I believe. But anyhow, how did we get here? How did we get here? It's our time. We have to eat. So when they bring it here, you eat it as stolen money. Who she's talking about? Who bringing the money there, they want to eat it? In fact, the trucking business in it, she was so much upset about it. She made a lot of statements. But she's telling people, now, hey, these people bring their money here, you want to eat it. That's stolen money. Because you white half or you will not dole money out like that. Who was she talking to? What happened? What is going on? Interesting. How did we get here? Let's look at it. So, some time ago, there was a leaked tape. And I keep making reference to the leaked tape, which is the bottom of the whole issues. And the government, including Dr. Weah, did not handle, my opinion, did not handle the issue fairly. And they did not handle the issue the way it should have been done. Because why? First of all, you selected this lady, the vice president. The vice president. You asked her to be your vice president. It's not like she's a public figure. So was she vetted? Did they vet her to say who is she? What do they know that? You brought her in as your vice president. You won the election. You think people in Bond County will lay her, even if they're having civil war in Bond County, you think they will lay her to just steamroll their sisters? You got to be serious. You got to be serious. This is somebody they love as well. And y'all know that. And that's one of the reasons why you decide to put her on your ticket. Because Bond County is a vote-rich county. So if you don't do it well, people from Bond County will say, oh, the people try to use us. Eh? Oh, okay. You don't want that. So it's two-way. This thing, I'm not going to say that CDC hierarchy are bound, put themselves in a bound, but you have to be very careful. This particular issue that I'm discussing here tonight, for me, is very sensitive from two fronts. But let me ask you, how did we get here? Immediately after the election, I was in Liberia for the inaugural program where the wonderful speech of our time, wonderful speech from Dr. Weah came out. And every one of us pretty much were ETS. From there, they flipped immediately. You start seeing Eugene Nabwe there and two of them putting their hand on their mouth. You'll be quiet. What? This is how things started. When they started, remember that? When they wore out their blue uniform on the football field that morning dancing? You will take it. If you don't take it, you must step aside. Some kind of song. Liberians started watching and said, but wait a minute. After CDC done, the campaign was over. Why are they behaving like this? People started taking back and said, oh, this is what they're trying to do. Then we saw Eugene Falcon. Instead of the campaign being over, he took it from there to fact and fiction. This government will succeed, as though this government is not our government. You can't do that. This is Liberian people government. This is not CDC government. This is Liberian people government. The government must succeed, of course, for all of us. But how did we get here? Let's go ahead. So there was a leak audio from the Bond County superintendent. Let's listen to her, and I'll come back. Samson told Liberian Public Radio.
Happy day, the president being giving an annual message. Cloud, we are saying, having party to Jamaica. I want to see all the party women, including the national chair, who went to Jamaica. The thing I'm telling you, that one saw drink is a dummy at the 2 hour were in a play. I drank that one saw drink for 2 hours. They can't finish. That one saw drink I drink for 2 hours. I was confused. We entered Jamaica. The president sitting answer with his wife and Kiso. I go in, they lay all over. Mange sitting down, he put a table. The table that was under the palm tree that I play in Western. And to a web, all of people men sitting down with him. So I wanted to go speak to the president first. I waved to him, but I was going directly to the president. But I can't wave to him. He hold one chair, second. I said, Chief, let me speak to the chief. I come here now. He said, when you go and see Jesus, you see Maga. In your Maga, what do you do? Can't say, I said, can't yeah. Who calling you? I can't, Sarah. I said, the way they in my heart. I said, the way they call two people calling me like that. Let me go say that. Mange said, now he put my chair right here. I said, the next person to me that was finance minister Samia Tue. Right now, the government running at 3 people run the government. They didn't want to tell the president what to do. There was in Koji, Samia Tue, and Natana Mange. He came for a chair, sitting down between 2 of them. He said, what happened to Gongande? So your Dagbana took the title that's going to be to the president and gave it to the vice president. Maybe Ko and the vice president want to overthrow our government. We revenge. He strode through a film as a domia. The loafer pager that the pager came for. He said, you see it? This is evident. And she told the boy in loafer she want to be president. I stick between. I said, yeah, Mange, yeah, 2. I said, now between 2 of them. Mose, the labor they call Mose, who they appointed ambassador, and he coming go replay as a jazzy. He said, "Nam behind me. My folk can move, it can't come. I ever tracing trial. Samuel twice said, we will revenge to the letter. He said, the only God that bless you, you work for all of us to be employed. 2, you stand you in the middle. If you are coming to be left and right, you are going to be the first to take the heat. He said, what bad government? You want to finish executing all of you? Mange said, don't talk about execution. We're moving everybody. For me to I say, where everybody man live heavy. I say, I ain't want to shake in the chair. Eh? Why 2 people want to overthrow our government? They know how we suffer before we came to the point that the city will never want to take out to be finally. I said that man last time Mr. Domia stick in between those 2 chairs. They saw drink they gave me. Chef, the 2 hour in Jamaica I drink, I saw drink for 2 hours. They can't finish. Now we are drinking say. In a 10 bedtime, my boy want to drink it. The president sitting now on the table looking at the table. The 2 people plastic. One low Jefferson Kojiki. Jefferson Kojiki stood right in front of me. He said, no, he said, the superintendent, there is some degree of mercy. And we explain that into detail to you. He's standing here, he was not saying he was standing in front of me. Mange said, we'll never take that nonsense. How do you want to overthrow our government for? Eh? I said, Mr. Domia, I was just looking for a way so I would get from between our 2 chairs and jump by us and leave the whole program. The president sitting down looking at me, tell the table and the table that had the table closer. I said, oh, they talk. Why they want to overthrow our government? Are very wicked, being wicked. Why they woman so wicked? The how she started a wickedness to Jim Barney. Oh, Mr. Domia, Mange and wife was sitting down. She came for the program from the States. She said, my people, the students will not take the latches. I beg you. She came here to refresh her mind, but the way you're not doing now, she will not be happy to be in the program. I said, no, I will stay. Quietly, I just said it like that. I said, I will stay. She said, you're not giving her all the lapses. You're not making her spirit and leave her. I'm begging you, you're leave her. Mange said, the woman myself was in the MPP. When Taylor got ready for that woman, we were in the van. We were the youth advocating for her. She know. The photo. Mange told her phone, I called Vanny right away. Vanny answered way immediately. He said, this is what your VP now do to us. He said, so we'll take action. We all pull all your count and we'll take action. The first thing we start with Sansan Kawadem. I said, in our open play, Mr. Domia, they saw doing what they offered me. You know, I left it. They saw, because I took the first date, the second date now, they started blasting. So I just said it down. Then my Samuel Tue told me, he said, that your medical. Samuel Tue, I said, different person. He said, that your medical. Oh, no way he will see our president before he came. Mange told me, say, he fought now in my office. You will never see the president in your life again. You will see Joe, we are on TV. Except Joe, we are going a horse. Maybe all the representatives there. But for Meringo to come one-on-one, it will never happen as long as we are here. They're knocking the table. Yeah, happy day the president didn't give me an annual message. Cloud, we are saying having party to Jamaica.
That, for me, folks, for me, that's the beginning as far as I'm concerned. So from this tape, there was a lot, all kinds of statements were coming out. Remember the issue with the country, Danaba, whatever they call it? The things started snowballing from there. So things became a little bit rough for the vice president. After this lady tape came out, from that moment on, the vice president was not as aggressive as she was from the beginning. Her engagement to the public became spotty of the best. So people started wondering what happened. So sometime, Front Page Africa did an interview. Okay? Front Page Africa did an interview with her. And in that interview, there was a series of statements that was being made, but she was very serious on some of the stuff that she wanted and some of the things that was happening. Okay? And the very first one that I'm going to be playing for you here tonight is where she came out to say she was considering resigning because things was just not the way she thought it would be. And she thought that because I told you before, that after the election and with that kinds of speech that was given by the president at the stadium, she believed that she was accepted, fully accepted. And after this lady came up, and the way she was being talked to, the way things were happening around her, she decided, let me just take a back seat a minute. I mean, just think about it. From somebody who was that much energetic when she was there, you're with join. You used to do this. They want to just something like this. Like she wants to overthrow. What kinds of over? How can she overthrow the president of the Republic of Liberia? On what constitutional mandate would that happen? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So perhaps they do. They have that in the Constitution, what the vice president can overthrow. But what would that be? So when Frompe did the interview, she opened up. She opened up big time. And I'm going to play you a series of that interview here as we continue to engage each other this afternoon or this evening. It's a very interesting thing that happening to her. But as I show you the video I just showed you here, I don't think this lady going to resign anymore. I don't think the vice president even thinking about resigning. I think for me, especially after the COVID scare in Ghana and she's by, she's like, I don't care, bring it on. Folks, we have to understand who this lady is. This lady used to be married to Charles Taylor. So are you telling me that she has not seen all kinds of nasty stuff? Even if she did not participate in any of it, that's not what I'm suggesting. What kinds of conversation have she not listened to? You're going to scare her? You think you're going to scare this lady? Your best bet. Your best bet, because the new dynamic that is coming from America, your best bet is to make peace. Make peace with this lady. So you people will be able to govern in peace. I'm not saying they're going to be trouble. But here's the thing. Many of your citizens live here in the United States. They're not going to force your citizen to say go or what have you. That's not what I'm talking about. But your friendship with the United States is supposed to be stronger. And this lady that I told you about earlier, Madam Greenfield, she's somebody that's going to be having the ear of the president and the vice president. She's very versed in West Africa issues. Before she became ambassador, she used to be honor secretary, assistant secretary for African affairs, especially sub-Saharan African affairs. So and the fact that she also was in Liberia during her PhD program to study. So she knows a little bit, if not most, about Liberia. You're not going to be able to get the kinds of support that you will get from the United States. You're not going to be able to get from China, because the first thing you and Chinese, you don't speak the same language. Every time you're talking, interpreter got to be in there. The Chinese come in to work in Liberia, they bring their own workers. They will give you loan, you got to pay something immediately. We know these things. So this is why I'm bringing this up. I hope the government will not be bullheaded, let's put it that way. In other words, being stubborn and don't want to talk about this, don't want to have this issue resolved. It must be resolved because Liberia is going to be affected. Let's listen to this other interview. This is just the first part. Where now she's going to come out. They ask her, were you considering it? She said, yes. To be honest with you. Why? And she will explain. Samson told Liberian Public. These are, if you go on Front Page Africa, you will find the entire video on there. In fact, they have Front Page Africa have what they call VP archive. You will find most of the video on there. Except I took my time to do segment by segment so that I'll be able to relay that to you. Okay, let's listen. Let's listen to the vice president here.
With all the challenges, difficulties, accusations, and misconceptions about your perceived ambitions, have you ever considered or thought about resigning?
Truthfully, yes. Many times, not just once. And those who in my office will hear me say, I was better off just sitting in the senator's office. And then my chief of staff will always say, no, the Liberian people are still waiting for you to do what you and the president said you would do. So there's no going back. But you know, as humans, some things will occur and you will say, oh God, did I make the right choice? And so I have quite a few times said, maybe I didn't make the right choice. Maybe I'm the problem for which this marriage is having all of the stumbling blocks. It's good to internally, also say, well, maybe I'm the problem. What can I do to fix it? But in spite of the many challenges, I know that the people of Liberia, when they went to cast their ballot, they looked at the combination of what Ambassador Weah Den brought to the table and what I brought to the table, and how we have managed to put in place during the campaign a robust team that could deal with any issue, give us proper information, give us proper advice. That's how we won. If we didn't have a good team, we probably would not have won the elections, because it's good to jump around and do the songs, but then the strategies are important. So I know that there is a beautiful coalition team that has the expertise of many persons, which we need to bring to bear. And so I pray that year number 3, going on, that we won't have any regrets, that we'll be allowed to fully engage. I look at my years of experience and what I was able to help Madam Sirleaf accomplish in the legislature. How can I be at this level and not being able to make the impact for which the president sought when he began looking for a vice president? Whatever the undercurrents are, I pray that we'll begin to look carefully at Liberia. What is it people want? How can we, again, come together and work? It is possible in the time frame that we have. And that should be our legacy. Hopefully, everyone will, at this beginning point of the year, look back and see, the missteps. Look back and see how disjointed we were, unlike during the campaign, and somehow come together. We have to unify. We have to put the past behind us. We have to gear up for ensuring that each of us that has a part to play in the PAP, the agenda, does everything within their power to make it work, so that the trust and the faith given to us in 2017 would not have been squandered.
With all the challenges,
The trust that was placed in us by the people will not be squandered. And this is a woman people are saying. Many people say, oh, she don't want peace. But you will hear more. You will hear more. But listen to this. This was one of the things, as far as I'm concerned, misused of opportunity. This lady, highly educated. She is very much experienced when it comes to issue of Liberia. I thought because of her experience and the fact that she's capable, I thought that's why she was brought on board. But as you heard here, how can I be at this level, being the vice president, and I'm not able to be utilized to help to make things happen in this country with my experience? Basically, that's what she was saying. So her frustration level was very high at that time. She wanted to resign. But Not anymore. I'm just telling you as it is. Not anymore. If you think this lady thinking about resigning, you better think again. Not anymore. And how are you going to push her out? I'm not too sure what, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not a constitutional lawyer or anything, so I don't know much about the Constitution except about what's from here and there. But is there a constitutional provision that will allow people to push her out? And if you do that, what would be your explanation to the entire international community that you depend on for your bread and butter? You ain't got nothing in our country to say you can sell to be able to make serious money. All of the diamond and gold are being extracted by foreigners because of the way we do concession agreement and what have you. Few people want to benefit from X, Y, and Z. But it's not just this government. That's Liberian people. That's who we are. You get in power, you do whatever, you have to take whatever you have to take. Then the next person can repeat the same thing. So it's not just this government, please. It's been going on from 19 okay? But now, this vice president, my argument here this evening and what I'm suggesting to this government is time to make peace. Before Biden administration take root, make peace with this vice president. There are records. There are records out there. And many things, I'm coming to those things. Many things that does not bode well with women and this government. Let us don't fool ourselves. And if you think, well, we don't need them. You don't need United States? You don't need it? Okay, let's go on. So the next one I'm going to be playing, the vice president, in the same interview though, but different segment like as usual. The vice president going to tell us that there was some mistrust. But I want you to pay keen attention to the word she's going to use, disrespect. But one of the things that I like about the vice president is that she doesn't go around throwing words out there as though she will never meet them again. It seemed to me, I don't know her, but it seemed to me that she's somebody who really does not like to burn bridges. Let's put it that way. So she chose to work carefully. How and when these particular terms to be applied. Education is good, yeah. When you know ball, you can play with it. They want playing with a book here tonight. Samson told LeBron, let's listen to this one. She's going to say there's a mistrust. But I want you to pay attention to the word, what she's going to use. Disrespect and what connotation that's going to convey. Let's listen. Samson told LeBron Public Radio.
Do you believe there's an issue of unfettered distrust between you and the president on the one hand, and you and those within inner circle on the other hand?
I think it's just one journey, because the head of state is our leader. All of us serve with him. And as a mother, I know that if you visit my house today, and I told everyone from yesterday, Mr. Rodney C. will be visiting me on Monday morning. And you come to the gate and they expect you and they usher you in. If I were to say anything negative after this process, maybe the next time you came, your reception will be quite different. So there are things that actually elicit the behavior that we're seeing. And like I said, I'm not a part of the background meetings or the background conversations. The reason why most women feel left out of the political sphere is that, they will call a meeting at 1 o'clock in the morning. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, Rodney, I'm in bed. Most women won't go out at that time. And so, being men, as they are, normally, this is not a strange phenomenon, that those kinds of smaller meetings will be held, and consensus is built at certain levels. But I wouldn't say that there is a mistrust in the meaning of that word, because over the last 2 years, with all of the wrangling going on, we've had several meetings. Some of our fathers in the land have called the both of us to say what's going on. And I know the president will always say, I don't have a problem with her. We've never argued. We've never gone at a war of words. We've never had a negative, embrace. And he would say, so I don't have an issue with her. And then people would say, so what is the problem? And you'll say, every day someone comes to me with a story. The vice president is this, the vice president is doing that, the vice president is doing another thing. And anybody will get kind of concerned. But after all of the talking, and he will say, okay, you guys who are ministers and a part of the framework, everybody go work and let's work, we got work to do. So if I were to really be truthful, you don't know what's in the hearts of people. And so I can only say how I feel. That I have no iota of hatred or disrespect or any negative feelings towards the president. I know he's trying to accomplish a job, and those of us who are around him must sometimes put aside our personal issues and join that work. Are there issues with some of the people in government? Yes, there are issues. I felt disrespected, I felt ignored at some times. And I think I've been patient for a 2-year period just to continue to work this through. So I do believe that there is some issue here and there about or between me and some of the ministers.
Do you believe there's an issue of unfettered distrust between you and the president?
She said she felt disrespected. You heard that? Now, I'll show you 3 videos here tonight. And the other one, I just cut them off. I'm not going to show the other stuff. But here is some of the things that she's talking about. They have a radio station in Monrovia where a young man went on one day and went off on her. And you would think a vice president of the country, even as old as I am, I'm older than her, she can't be my mom. But this young man, she's capable of burning this young man. And he went off on her. And this guy worked for the radio station that is owned by someone who was working within the government, who was working within the security apparatus of the government. And nothing came out of it. So she felt disrespected. And these are some of the things. I'll play you the 3 videos. Let me play you one of them right now. Let me play you one of them, and then you will understand what I'm saying. Samson told LeBron Pub Radio.
Folks, you know that there are some people in government. They are in government, but they are doing things that will hamper the government in a negative form. Madam Joa Howard-Taylor, like I explained only yesterday, she was not just the only person that could serve where she is. She was being taken based on favor to bring that the other people that they were being asked, they did not accept. And so she just needed to cover up. So it's not that she married where she is. It's that she's so qualified than others. There are even more competent people than she do in terms of governance. Folks, you know that there are some people in government.
This is some of this disrespect that she's making reference to. And you would think somebody from the hierarchy of the CDC will come to her aid to say, you can't say that. How are you going to tell us that she being selected, not based on the merits, not based on her capacity to understand and be able to produce. So what was it based on? Is it because they got her because she's from Bond County and Bond County is a vote-rich county? Is that why they got her? This lady, masters, highly educated, and you're going to tell me that she, former senator from Bond County, and if you go into these records, senatorial records, you will find her name. She wasn't a slouch in the Senate. And you're going to come up, young man like this, young man, that this lady can be your mom. And you're going to say something like this in public. And nobody from the governing coalition will come to her aid. This is what she's making reference to as being disrespected. Let me play you another one. I'll play all three of them, then I'll move on to something else. Let me play this other one here.
So it is this Malik Kemu that Dua Howard Taylor took the bulletproof vehicle that she's supposed to use in a convoy. She took this bulletproof vehicle, she gave the bulletproof vehicle to Malik Kemu, and Malik Kemu took the vehicle, he sold it to a foreign national, and he takes the money back to who? Dua Howard Taylor. So it is this Malik Kemu that Dua Howard Taylor took the bulletproof vehicle that she's supposed to use in a convoy. She took this bulletproof vehicle, she gave the bulletproof vehicle to Malik Kemu, and Malik Kemu took the vehicle, he sold it to a foreign national, and he takes the money back to who? Dua Howard Taylor.
I got one more. The level of disrespect. These are public records. These are not something that is hidden. These are public records. And so what I'm saying to you here, this lady can make a case, a strong case to the international community about how she's been treated. The same thing I said the last time about Justice Jana, it's the same thing here. Call a meeting, bring this lady on board, have these things resolved before the Biden administration take their seat. They're going to have a lot of stuff on their plate. But one thing for sure, in this Biden administration, there are too many young women who are also connected to the Me Too issue. You can't have a vice president of a radio station person going to insult her. And but nobody is saying anything, especially if that radio station is owned by someone who is working within the government. That person should have come out and said, look, this is not what we're here for. You have to apologize. Even if you want to keep the young man on board, you have to apologize. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Let me play the last one, and then I can move on. This is the one that will ruffle your fellas a little bit, folks. Samson told LeBron Public. Listen to this one.
But where is she talking about? Because the document, all the information, and all the things there, she's been receiving money. I call all the time, so that's the reason why I didn't just call the name. I try to separate them so that you can know exactly where and where she's been receiving and how it is. This Dua Howard Taylor woman, this wicked woman, this selfish woman, this underminer, because she ain't get herself, her Ben Sandy, that funny looking one, that one that is bisexual. Because her son now working in government, so she got a problem with it. Because Manipaka Dumoina working in government, so she got a problem with it. She took money and gave it to Manipaka to go and have an interview on BBC against the government she worked with. So what they prove now that Dua Howard Taylor say the government are paying her. This is the woman. She took the government bulletproof vehicle, gave it to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend sold the vehicle. She stood in front of investigators from the United States, FBI officials, and said her boyfriend would not be taken back to the United States because the crime he committed in America, so they should not come to Liberia to arrest him to take him back to the United States. What such a wicked woman is she? You think, say, we're talking this because of you people in government? We're saying this because of the common people? Wicked woman. But why is she talking about? Because the document, all the...
So, I'm about 4. Because if my son, you talk to the vice president, I don't care whether you're working for who and whatever, whether you live in my house or not. If you were my son, you and I are going to have issue. Because first thing, you should not talk to a woman like that. Let alone a vice president of the country, calling her wicked woman. When was the last time that she played Sassigu and she found guilty of wickedness? When? When was the last time? And nobody, this thing happened almost a year or so ago. And nobody, up to this point, nobody had come out and said anything in regard to this vice president and this young man. I'm not saying he should be punished, but people should come out and say this is not right. This is not how we talk to our ladies in this country. This is what I'm going tonight. It's not necessarily just about the president. But first of all, she's a sister. She's a mother. She's somebody's daughter. How will you feel if this young man address your wife, address your sister, address your mother like that? How will you feel? And none of us were able to say fine in a place. For what reason? Politics? So these are some of the things I'm talking about tonight. So if we have these kinds of issues in Liberia, and you don't have this thing resolved, and then you're going to come up and wait until the Biden administration, the Donald Trump administration. Giuliani not here anymore to be your friend. You got to find a new person. And this person you're going to find, they're going to have to do little research for them to be lobby for you guys. They're going to have to show that this government is in the interest of everyone. They're not just going to get, you're going to pay them, that's fine. But in order for them to lobby, they're going to have some tangible, for goodness sake. And with these kinds of records, these type of records that has been haunting this government for a very long time, how are you going to say somebody should lobby for you unless you want a person to lie and say you don't have no record? And these things are public record. This is what this social media does for us now. It gives everybody the insight of what is happening. Things that you never used to, never heard before in Liberia. You can even see it in Town tonight. Somebody can go live in Town, and they show me people's houses. They can go from one house to another. I'll be able to see it. So you can't do things much to hide anymore. Just to this morning, North Korea were trying to hack into one of the vaccine makeup. They try to hack into their stuff so they can get a vaccine, how to make it. You can't hide that or stuff. You can't hide that anymore. People go after it. So in order for you to have a lobby that will say a good word to the Biden administration, you will have to do better than that. Because I can assure you that this vice president most likely is in contact with Madame Saliv. You heard what Madame Saliv said the other day when her son endorsed Tomofala. When she came back, she said, that's not family discussion. And if we had a family discussion, we definitely were not going to recommend that. Madame Saliv most likely is in contact with Madame Julia. And they're saying, I'll give you another example here before I go on to the next one. You remember sometime back late in Madame Saliv's turn, they wanted to throw Mary Brown in jail. You remember that? And what they call girls' power. Went to the South Beach. Say, I'm putting no Mary Blow in jail here tonight. It ain't happening. And the women, ministers, women, they put together and forcibly took Mary Blow out of those people's hands. You remember that? These are women you want to fool around with? You don't think the vice president got supporters? You're stopped. You're stopped. Let's go on. So, okay, so the vice president, I'm going to show you another video here. Series of video tonight, that's for sure. Video going to speak for me tonight. That's for sure. Okay. The vice president, in another video that I'm going to be showing you, going to describe to us what is CDC, the coalition. What do they do? Who are they? Who are they? Okay. Okay. They're gonna tell us what is CDC. Who are they? See the coalition according to her definition. Very interesting definition. Let's listen in. Samson to LeBron Public Radio.
The CDC is a conglomeration of many political parties. Because there were three main parties, but by the time we got to the second round, a lot of parties joined in an attempt for the opposition bloc to get back into the governance space. And opportunities were made available at different levels, and the government started to come together. As we campaigned across our country in 2017, what we saw was a nation in great anticipation of a team of persons who would take them to the next level. More equality, more united, and that will provide an environment where, regardless of who you were, at whatever level, you had an opportunity to live and be a part of the building of our country. Some are prepared to be ministers. Some are prepared to be local government officials. Some are prepared to just be entrepreneurs. So our thought was to give different levels of people what they needed. Not as CDC, but as Liberia, because again, we should be one people, united together. And so those comments were made, but I knew as we went forward, we should have been looking for the best. But I can just imagine a president walking into office and being bombarded with all of these issues. MPP wanted jobs, LPDP wanted jobs. There was a level of stability that was needed, to take the country through a soft period. And I know some of us complain about the fact that the Unity Party ministers, a lot of them still remained in their post till today. Whatever the many arrangements that were made, because when you're in this process, I realized at the head of such an organization, there were many things happening underneath. All of us were not privy to all of it. And this is what the leader does. It negotiates at different levels to make sure that we arrived at the point that we had. If you were to ask me what my assessment of government would be, I would say firstly that in a mix, as I've just explained, you will find good, you will find bad, you will find ugly, you will find beautiful people. But this is how God has made us. All of us come to the table with something. Some people have the potential to learn. Others are stuck where they are. It now takes all of the players to look carefully and see what can be done, so that in the end, it's not just about the few jobs in government, but a whole system that can now provide opportunities for all. There are petty traders in Douala who only wanted soft loans to build better and bigger businesses. That petty trader in Douala or in Red Light or in Manga or in Grand Cru doesn't want to be a minister. He believes that he's a player in the market. And if given just a little support, he can do more. How the entire arrangement ended up, I guess, in the hope of the president and with the acquiescence of the Liberian Senate, which is also supposed to vet everyone, the players got into place. It would be disingenuous of me, Rodney, if I sit here and say, well, this person should not have been hired and that person should not have been hired. In my office, there are many persons, even some Unity Party partisans. And everybody isn't at the same level, but we've found a way to work together. What I hope all of us would take to our jobs is a commitment to do the right things. It's a commitment to exhibit integrity. It's a commitment to look at Liberia first, so that whatever you do, knowing that it will affect everyone in the nation, we put our best foot forward. The CDC is a conglomeration of many political parties, because there were 3 main parties, but by the time we got to the second round, a lot of parties joined in an attempt for the opposition bloc to get back into the governance space. And opportunities were made available at different levels, and the government started to come together. As we campaigned across our country in 2017, what we saw was a nation in great anticipation of a team of persons who would take them to the next level.
So you heard that, right? Okay, but you heard the vice president giving us what she, and this is what I thought very interesting. This is the same vice president that went into this process believing, I truly believe that, this is my opinion, believing that she thought these people had her on the same page and they have accepted her, not just into the Congress for Democratic Change, but as a group of people, hierarchy in the government who were having to be male, because the government is dominated by male figures anyway. So she thought she was on the same level and has been accepted in the fall. That's one of the reasons when she went to Manga and made that statement, one thing. Now, after 1 or 2 years, she finds out perhaps her expectation was just too high. And having observed, and like I said, she's an intelligent person, very smart. She's not dumb. Having observed some of the issues affecting our people and how they were dealt with, she's now, it seemed to me, now with this interview, it seemed to me that she's now under an impression that this is not all rosy as she thought it would be. But one of the interesting things she also said was that with her own experience and not being utilized to help to fix some of these things that she knows how to fix. So they decided, according to her, and she will make that point here later, they decided she must be on she will be sidelined. They go to meetings a certain time of the day or the night when they know she's in bed. Then they have a meeting, build consensus, according to her, when she's not there. So as the decision-making process to affect or to help or to do whatever it is in the country she was now being left behind. And with that kinds of frustration level, she thought, why do I even have to fool myself? Waste time here? Let me just resign. And apparently, somebody must have convinced her. And that thought is, as something to say, that thought is not coming to her mind anymore. She's staying. She's staying, and she will stay. Now, you remember that, what y'all do to me? Now she's turning it around and bringing it back to CDC. The hierarchy, including the president, will have to do all of us a favor. You selected her to be your running mate. There's something you saw in her that you wanted her for. This is not time to be proud human being. Go back and find out what the problem is. Because she told us here that when the old people call them together, they say, well, the president said, I got no problem with her. If you don't have problem with her, why is she being left out? Why is she feeling like that? You need to go to her and find out what happened. What are we doing wrong here, madam? How can we get you to be more involved? She's a vice president of the country. Yes, in Liberia they say they can pack the vice president, but that one is more than packing. You don't just pack her, but you put a blanket over her face, all over. So she, not only that, you put shackle on her. It seemed to me. So what I'm suggesting is that the vice president must be given the opportunity to do what she does well. And that is bring people together and work. Give us the opportunity. Because like I said, I'm not a constitutional person, so I don't know about the Constitution. But I don't know if there's any provision in the Constitution that will allow CDC to sideline the vice president. I believe that most likely might happen if the party that she's standard bearer for, that is part of the coalition, decide to drop her as standard bearer. But you think, and what do they call it? Taylor Party will drop Mana Howard from being standard bearer? This is going to be a very interesting. But we don't even want to go through all of that. There's no reason. There's no reason for us to go through all of that wrangling and affecting people and what have you. Let's talk to her. She's our sister. She's not a Sierra Leonean. She's not a Ghanaian. She's not a Guinean. She's not an Ivorian. She's a Liberian from Bon County. Hey, I wish I was involved with this government. Probably most of the thing will not even come to this point. Because all Dr. Weah needs to hear, somebody to be truthful with him. Explain to him that these things eventually going to come back and hurt him and hurt his legacy. Simple. Let's listen to this other video. It's her birthday. Remember when I did this thing, it was also her birthday, but that was the beginning of the year. So they're asking her, and she's going to consider the entire process bittersweet. Bittersweet, she said. Let's listen to that. Samson told LeBron Pabrito. Folks, what I'm doing here tonight, let me just explain it. What I'm doing here tonight, I hope that people will understand that, is to bring these things to light. I can't just come out and say, this government, y'all need to do X, Y, and try to give an advice without me showing some of the things that I consider to be mistakes. Because if I show what I consider to be mistake, then based on that, I can come up with a conclusion and try to project some sort of a suggestion. I can't just make a suggestion. I watched all these things by myself. I can come out and make a suggestion. But people might not understand on what basis am I making these suggestions. And this is why I'm showing this. And many people might not even agree with me. People are going to be on here debating, well, you're wasting our time. Why are you showing anything that won't further trouble? And other people are saying, no, maybe there's something there. Let's listen. This is what the intellectual platform is supposed to do for you. It stirs your mind and make you think. Make you think. Because here's the interesting thing. Many of you watching, as Liberian, you have the opportunity to be vice president tomorrow. Woman or man, it doesn't matter. Would you like to be treated like this? Would you like to be treated like this? From what this lady is telling us here this evening. Let's listen to that. Let's listen to what she said, bittersweet. Very interesting, very interesting. Samson told Labrador Pabrido.
Thank you.
As we celebrate the end of 1 year and the beginning of a new year, how do you feel today?
Well, I want to be grateful first to the Almighty God for granting me life. But this birthday was really a little bittersweet, considering where we are as a nation. Especially as you look at the fact that if you look in the newspapers, or if you check the internet, or if you check the national headlines or international headlines, you'll see just negativity. So it seems as if in 2020, as we begin a new year and a new decade, that Liberia is still in crisis, in a nation maybe at war with itself, because the issues are internally driven. There are some of them that are external, but most of it is internally driven. As I think about this birthday, I'm also a little saddened that I too am a part of the negative news. Regardless of how it plays out, the fact is I've been vice president for 2 years. And this might be my third crisis. In 2018, we had some issues. 2019, and then beginning the new year with, the vice president has decided to stay home and not go to work, which embroils the entire nation in what's happening. And so I was not really happy. I was pensive. I had to really sit back and look at where I am in my career, in my personal life, because your mentality is also important as you deal with all of the issues that politicians usually handle. So this year, if people say happy birthday, it was a little tinge with some regrets and some bittersweet memories because of the fact that this is where we are as we begin the new year. Thank you.
As we celebrate the end of 1 year and the beginning of a new year, how do you feel today?
That's her explanation about bittersweet. And this is another interesting thing. This, for me, is the hallmark of somebody who is highly educated. Don't make excuses. And I think, now, I feel bad for those of you that are arguing that Omov got problem, because it kind of thing was in an international code of law. Whoever is behind this will be found guilty. Yes, the lady just telling you, look, I'm not faulting everybody. I think myself, I'm supposed to be somebody to be looked at as well, because I am part of the government. So if the government is not doing well, we all are responsible. She's taking responsibility. She's taking some responsibility here this evening. What do you want? What do you want? You want her to say everything that is going wrong in this country is my fault? She's not going to do that. And if she does that, that is a hallmark of an intellectual dishonesty as well. So she's not going to do that, and we don't expect her to do that. What she has done, taking partial responsibility, what she considered her own contribution to the conflict, whatever you want to call it. So she's saying here tonight, I'm also to be blamed, because in a marriage, it's not just one way. Everybody contributes to whatever it is. But we need to come together and find out what exactly we're going. And she also said this, when we were having the election, the expectation from the Liberians was high. They wanted more, and they thought we could deliver. And so it's a bittersweet for her that at this point, after 3 years, they still have not gone past the issues of conflict among themselves. She's saying, I could be part of this pro-poor agenda in things that I can do to uplift this government. What part of it they don't understand? Give this lady the opportunity. Let's see what she can do. You came in with hope and change. And one of the change, hopefully, was not to park the vice president in a car, in a garage. But this is not what's happening. This is not what's happening. Okay? Let's listen to another one. Like I said, the video will be my talking point here tonight, most of it. So let's listen to this other one. Okay? This is also bittersweet. Okay? But let's listen in this context what exactly she's going to be saying here. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's listen. Samson told LeBron Pub Radio.
When you say bittersweet, can I ask you why you think it's bittersweet for you?
Because I had hoped that by the time our government began its third year, which we should be beginning in a few days, a lot more positive things would have happened. I never imagined that I would continue to be a face of some of the things that are happening that are negative if you look at it in the international circles and even here at home. Regardless of who's at fault, the fact is that this is where we are, and that's why it was a little bittersweet, because I'm happy to be alive, of course, but I had hoped that by this time, a lot more positive things would have been done at my personal level, at the level of our governance structure, and at the level of our national fabric.
When you say bittersweet, can I ask you why you think it's bittersweet for you?
Because I had hoped that by the time our government began its third year, which we should be beginning in a few days, a lot more positive things would have happened. I never.
It didn't come from her mouth. She just explained. She was hoping that by the time they get into their third year, that a lot more things would have happened. But in fact, things are not happening the way they're supposed to. And from her standpoint, it's not happening because of conflict. From her standpoint, it's not happening because of disagreement. From her standpoint, it's not happening because of disrespect among themselves. I've seen this play before. Mistrust, disrespect can cause friendship to go south. Can even cause people to kill people. I've seen it before. I'm not stranger to these kinds of stuff. We're brothers. People who thought they were brothers. People who thought they were sacrificing for each other. Once they get to power, and folks that have no clue on how they got there, they get in, they start manipulating the system. Before you look, the brothers that used to be brothers will start fighting among themselves. We've seen it before. It's nothing strange in Liberia, except it has not been woman and man. This is exactly what's happening. Who are the advisors of this government? Why is it that they will sit there and allow this thing to frustrate this much? Why? Why? These are Liberians. One is the professional, high class, top of the line professional soccer player who brought pride to all Liberians. Another one, former First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, former Senator of the Republic of Liberia, highly educated, was selected to be the presidential candidate on a ticket that they accept to collaborate together and consider themselves coalition. Even the tongue and the tea in the mud they can foil. What's about coalition? But how do you manage it? Make you a successful person. And these things going to come back to Dr. Weir. His legacy. In years to come, history will look on these things and his legacy will be judged. Some of the judgment will be passed based on these issues. Unless people don't care about their legacy. Okay? But let me play you one more stuff here. After this, I got one more. Okay? This is where she's going to explain about the issues about her statement. It's my time. Will eat. You want to join, you better join CDC. You want to work, you better join. Now she's going to explain to us after 2 years. Now that she has found out, she was never accepted in the first place. Now her thinking, the fact that she has, I told you from the beginning that she made that statement, I believe, believing that these people have accepted her, but she was disappointed to find out that she was never accepted in the first place. Now she's going to explain to us why she made that statement. Based on the realization now that these things, her thinking about being accepted was based on false premises. Oh my goodness. You have to be able to engage for you to understand what I'm saying. For you to truly grasp what I'm saying, you have to be able to follow Liberian politics for a while. But anyway, I'm doing my best here this afternoon. Samson told Liberian public. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
Okay. The issue of jobs has been a topic of discussion. During the past 2 years, even more so, your political party, the NPP, have been complaining about the lack of jobs in the government. You caused a lot of stir during the early days when you suggested that joining the CDC was the best avenue for anyone looking for a government job. The returns on that has not been great, with many questioning the quality of those in critical positions. What was your thinking then, and do you still feel the same way?
I made the statement whilst going to say thank you to the political party structure in Bond County. And the background was those who were from the CDC had been struggling to change the status quo and become part of the governance process for more than 12 years. The NPP, on the other hand, had since 2003 been left on the side. And in the exuberance of the fact that we had won and the promises made, I told them that it might take a while for us to be able to formulate all of the structures that were needed to give jobs to people, but that they should be patient as they had been over the years. And that I believe God had answered our prayer and our time had come. And when I said our time had come, I meant long years in the wilderness, long years without job opportunities, long years just waiting. There is a structure in most African countries that I pray I will be alive long enough to see. And that structure is whoever wins the elections, as is done in Western societies, now know that they are elected for the entire populace and that they will go out of their way to ensure everyone is on board. But our dynamics as Liberians has always been, the winner takes all. And when the winner takes all in a situation such like this, when you don't have private investment, when a lot of people have no opportunities to work, then you leave huge numbers of persons outside of the paradigm. It was in this context that I spoke. And I want to say, if I in any way indicated in a negative way that my thoughts meant that we'll come to government and ravage it and misuse our opportunities, it was not what I meant. And I know some people took it to that level. That was not my intention then, and it was not my intention now.
Okay. The issue.
I think Amos George, if you're listening, I think she just did that. She apologized to the Bond County people, to be honest with you. Let me play you the last segment of her video. Then I will go to the controversial side. Then I will come up with my recommendation, not recommendation, but come up with my suggestion, and then we'll open a line. It's a very interesting topic tonight. But folks, it's Friday evening. I know many of you, it's COVID time anyway, so I think in the East Coast time, the people have already, it's 9 o'clock, people getting ready to go home also. So just stay with us, let's have fun together. Let me just say this again. Everything that I'm saying here tonight, I do not expect you to accept everything. I will hope that perhaps by opening up these kinds of conversation, that will stir something in you to have an understanding within yourself that these conversations are something to be held. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're having these kinds of conversations so that we will understand, because she's a sister. I have daughters. Why one of them go and say want to be vice president, and somebody treat them like that? I coming in Monrovia from Town. You treat my daughter like you must have a fire. That bamboo with the vacuola. What's wrong with you? We don't understand that one. My daughter come to Monrovia be vice president to a president, and your behavior bamboo with the vacuola. I will not stay in Town. Bamboo with the vacuola. What's wrong with you? But on a very serious note, I'm very grateful to our brothers and sisters from Bond County to be this patient, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. So let them continue to be, and I think the lady have taken a stand now. And it's very interesting. But let me play you the last video, then I'll go on to the controversial side of things here tonight, and then we'll bring you guys in. Okay? But please, if I open the line, please call and make your contribution. But let's do it with respect from one another. Okay? But if I open it tonight, give me something for me to go to bed with. Disagree with me. Disabuse me on some of the subject matter that I've talked about here tonight. I know many of you are watching me. Highly educated, very experienced, intellectual, and you know the subject matter. So if I open a line tonight, please come and disabuse me. Tell me my stories are not correct and they are not jiving. And then you provide some little perspective that will help me to understand exactly what it is that I need to do next time. So I don't go on doing these things if I know that the people have better idea than what I think I'm putting in for. And that's how we move forward. Let me play this live video for you, and then I'll play the three controversial audio. Okay? Samson told LeBron Pabrito. Let's listen to her live. Now this one is a little bit interesting. She's going to tell us now the issue of governance has gone further than that. They have become internal issues. They have become personalized. And I'll show you the young man making those comments earlier. And so she's saying then that at this time, she's going to have to seriously try to motivate herself to continue to be engaged, because the political terrain now has changed. It's no longer politics. They have now turned politics into personal issues. And she was concerned. But once again, this few times, Bon County woman, she's not taking it. She's not taking it. She ready? You be careful. You be careful. I'm enjoying it, to be honest with you. Not the conflicting side of it, but for a lady to stand up. She's not just standing up for herself. She's standing up for many, many, many young Liberian ladies in Liberia. This is the part that I like. And I hope that standing up does not mean she wants to dominate. Standing up does not mean she wants to bring divisive ideas. That's not what this suggests. What I think she's suggesting, I was brought here for a reason, and I must be given the opportunity to carry out the reason. Let me fail on my own, I think she's suggesting. If I'm unable to perform, let me demonstrate that to the Liberian people that this vice president, Dr. We have brought on board, she cannot do X, Y, and Z. But if you shut me down without me demonstrating what I'm capable or not, then it's unfair, and I'm not going to accept it. And I think that's the route she's taking. Let's play this. Samson to Liberian public.
And VP, it's been 2 years now since you've been in this position. A lot has been said about, in the public domain, especially about what you're going through. Could you tell us some of the complications and difficulties you've had in the job?
As a politician in a public service for over 20 years, I know that whenever you move into a new environment or a new line of work or a new sphere, there will be many challenges. I didn't come to this job thinking that there wouldn't be. I had, however, hoped that the challenges would be external, dealing with the external situations concerning our country, trying to fix, some of the problems that we've had as a perennial national situation. And so the challenges came at a different angle. And it wasn't just little challenges, they were major challenges. And so I realized that, again, you have to deal with it. The challenges from the internal sources can be a little disruptive. It can be distracting, because instead of us now working together as one unit and moving our country forward, there's all this inner wrangling and hauling and pulling, which takes away from some of the positive things that are happening. And so I knew that there would be challenges, but I thought the external ones, which anyone can deal with. If you walk into a room and it's flooding, you wipe the water. So you can deal with the external issues, because then you become a problem solver. However, the internal issues, as it relates to relationships with different levels of people, once it gets to the point where it is now being discussed on every radio station and in every newspaper, then it actually is a problem.
And VP, it's been 2 years now since you've been in this position.
There we go. Now, this is the interesting issue here she just put on the table. External, internal. She says she doesn't mind dealing with the external issues, because then those becomes issues that when you deal with it, you become a problem solver, which makes sense. This lady is intelligent. This lady is educated. Because if something happening outside, you face it, people look at you. They say, oh, the man can do something good. But something that is happening inside, it's difficult to deal with, especially where human beings are concerned. Now, I warned you very early in the game about the audio, some of the audio that I'm going to be playing tonight. I'm going to be playing one of the audio from Modibo Malu. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Modibo Malu, people consider the audio now to be liquor talk in our community, which is acceptable. But what happened to the international community? You think they're going to consider those things as liquor talk? No. This is the chairman of a ruling party. He made a statement like this. First thing is, why was he making it, and under what condition? And are those statements true? That's how they're going to judge. They're not going to judge it because somebody said a liquor talk. So yeah, you heard the vice president, internal issues. Modibo Malu going to tell us here now that the vice president, people were thinking within the hierarchy of the government to replace her, to disrespect her. From within the hierarchy of the CDC-led government, according to Modibo Malu. Let's listen to this. I took us some part because I didn't think those issues were relevant to my discussion here tonight. And there was some language that I didn't think I want to play. I know many of you have heard it, but I am not comfortable on my platform to play something for you to hear that is rude in its language, that is rude in its presentation. That's not what I do. I like to have my presentation as much as possible, but I cannot delete everything, because if I do that, I would defeat the purpose. But the language, specifically, it took me almost 4 or 5 hours, just the little tip that I'm going to be playing here, to be able to go through a menu, and took my time. But I'm an engineer. I can take time. I can take my time to do stuff. And I took my time to remove what I thought was bad language. But let's listen to Moluba Molu. Moluba Molu information here now is very, very much interesting as it relates to my subject matter here tonight. That the president was encouraging McGill to disrespect the vice president. And the vice president just told us, the vice president of the Republic of Liberia just told us that the external issue I can deal with, but the internal one was difficult. Let's listen. Samson told Labron Pobredo. Moluba Molu going to tell us.
There was a meeting where McGill dealt with Joel.
It was a GC meeting. No, it's GC meeting.
He programmed McGill. How about that? He programs McGill. Because that's what we used to do for him. But he doesn't find us at who will do that anymore. So he ain't put it away again. The man programmed McGill the Jewish president. He found the one replace Joel. McGill won't be vice president. You two now, you'll be vice president. 12 wants to be president. There was a meeting where McGill dealt with Joel.
It was a GC meeting. No, it's GC meeting.
He programmed McGill. How about that? He programs McGill. Because that's what we used to do for him. But he doesn't find us at who will do that anymore. So he ain't put it away again. The man programmed McGill the Jewish president. He found the one replace Joel. McGill won't be vice president. You two now, you'll be vice president. 12 wants to be president.
So you heard that. Moluba Molu, chairman of the political party CDC, of the ruling not coalition, but ruling party, who's standing better having to be the president of the Republic of Liberia, making reference to the president encouraging the minister of state to disrespect the vice president. You think that now this is what I'm getting ready to tie in back to my initial comment, which have to do with the United States of America. Joe Biden, president-elect, have a vice president who having to be a lady at the same time. And she, highly educated, just like our own vice president. You think she would take kind, she would take lightly when she hear this kinds of comment that the president encourages the Secretary of State to disrespect the vice president because they want to remove the vice president. I don't think so. This is where Honorable Lena Greenfield, the whole part going to be very interesting, because she is a good friend to former President Salih. These are conversations that are going to be happening between these people, because these people depend on information from Liberia for them to make judgment and make a concrete policy issue, tailor the policy towards Liberia. You see where I'm going with this? So these things are connected, and they're very important. They're very important. How is the president dealing with women in Liberia? And once again, this is not about you say, I say, whatever. That's not how they're going to view it. They're going to view these things based on what is happening. How is this thing happening? The Manu just told us that these are public records. I didn't go in behind somebody. I didn't hike into somebody's computer and take this. You go on YouTube, it's there. These are things that is happening in Liberia. They are public record. My concern, how these things affect the relationship to the incoming Biden administration. That is full of sisters who are quite aware of the Me Too movement. Do you think some of these sisters that are working at the State Department, do you think they're going to take kind to the fact that the president of the Republic of Liberia is encouraging another minister in his government to disrespect the vice president? No. And people are going to make issue out of those things. Let's listen to this other one. How is the president of the Republic of Liberia treat women in general? Especially women in his employment, according to Monuba model. These are things the president and the Republic of Liberia, people in the Republic of Liberia are going to have to cut it up now. Get hold of it. Because once the vice president and Madam Salif can see that things have changed and the vice president is happy, most of the video or audio that I've been showing here tonight will not be as important as it is if the vice president is angry still. Because then she can become a testimony in addition to all of these things that I've been showing you here tonight. So how do you resolve that quickly? Is to bring the vice president back on board and make you elevate your position, Dr. Weah. Because you selected a woman to be a vice president, not to abuse. People will look at you from the international community, especially the United States. Vice President Biden selected a woman to be a running mate. You, Dr. Weah, selected a woman to be a running mate. But now your running mate is saying that she's not happy because things are not going the way they're supposed to be. And from all indication, reason of not being happy is clear. So you think that Joe Biden will be anxious to come and visit Liberia, knowing fully well what is happening with the vice president? Because if people like Joe Biden come to visit Liberia, they're bringing people with them, investor that you will need, investor. Whenever these people go to visit, they carry companies with them, hair company with them, managers, to see the business opportunity in that country. But if you have these kinds of issues, how you think Biden would look at Kamala Harris and say, I'm going to go to Liberia and go visit, knowing fully well that the issue between you and your vice president is not conducive? What part? Am I not making sense, folks? So let me play this other video. Monuba Monu now going to tell us what are some of the things the president, his relationship when it comes to Liberian women. Listen to this. And you can say that liquor talk, that's fine with me. But that's not how people are going to view this. My intent here tonight, after all of this, then I will come out with my suggestion. Samson to LeBron Public.
Kerouan Mumude, that they call Escrew. Escrew were working with Waffle Program as a driver. In as much as transition is impressive for sedition, but why can't you give it to revolutionary sedition, people that understand the struggle? But you take a woman from Waffle Program, male HR to NPA, in less than a year, the male deputy director for administration. Before you fully get it. Kerouan Mumude.
Okay, I took that part out because I don't think it's important. That's not my role to make judgment, but I just bring this little one out. I took that little part out because I don't think it was important, but that's not part of I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm here to assess what is happening in my country and what are some of the recommendations or some of the suggestions that I can make. Let me play you another interesting one. This audio is very interesting. I also have to delete a lot of it. Okay. This is an audio from a lady. I think you guys know Banto. When she came out here one time blasting at another young lady who Monuba Madu just made reference to here, okay, in a derogatory manner, by the way. But Banto came out and was raging about this lady and her relationship with the president. And she, Banto, also, her relationship, alleged relationship, let me just use alleged relationship because I don't know, alleged, both of them, okay? But my main reason of playing this, how do these people take it? How are they going to view these kinds of things? A woman, young ladies, young girls, fighting over something allegedly. These are not something to take lightly. Let's listen to this and I will then open the line, make my suggestion, and I'll open the line. Samson told Libron Pub Radio.
Now let's get this straight. I know you got your issues with me. It is not my fault that you got by George multiple times. And don't think for 1 second I didn't know, because we didn't have your conversation, honey. Just like y'all can have my conversation, I didn't have your conversation. But I decided to play it cool because you was never nothing but y'all whole group. I've been stable to not deal with you, but you keep crossing the thin line with your cheap ass bullshit, lies, and gossip. 2018, I'm gonna fast forward that far, we gonna go. 2018, when you sat your sorry ass on the president's dining room table and you made a slick comment at Agnes, you come and fight me. Agnes know better. She know every fucking way better that she was not gonna come for me. One, that's we gonna fast forward. When you took your ass to the Lebanese man George and you and Choco went for money and you went back to the president when you didn't fucking know that the money I was not taking cash from him. I took inauguration gift from him. We gonna fast forward all the way to 2020. You sat your sorry ass in front of the fucking president when you went to beg for your maritime job, or he don't want to kill no more. So now you got to carry people's name. You didn't carry everybody's name in the country. Now you done took my name talking about I'm loving to Eugene. Have you seen Eugene and I in Bafkin before you taking your ass and go? That's the reason why bitches like y'all don't get men, y'all get and then bitches like y'all don't get kids, y'all just get empty wound because y'all be feeling with the wrong bitch. I know you know the law and I know the law too. You can take me to any fucking court, but if I hear my name in your mouth. Now let's get this straight. I know you got.
Okay. This is not something that I'm proud of. This is not a proud movement as a Liberian for the allegedly relationship with the president, according to them. But that's not the issue. My point is, all of these things that I play here tonight have to do with relationship, have to do with the fact that the president is the president of the nation. Okay? All these things that I show you here, you go on Google, YouTube, and just type the information, Dr. Weah, and all these things come up. All these videos, all the audio, they come up. You don't even have to type much. So the same way I'm able to retrieve these things, people can do that from the State Department. These are things that I'm suggesting to you. One, Mr. President, that immediately, suggestion, let me make that clear. I have no, and my suggestions are not binding either. I have no weight. I'm just running my mouth. So please accept my suggestion as it is. Suggestion one, Mr. President. Immediately get control of the audits in the country. You go to Bond County and meet with the vice president. and find out what the deal is with the vice president. Before I go, let me just show you one other thing here. Let me just show you. I'm sorry about this. I have to do this. Let me just show you one other thing here. Okay. This is the vice president on her Instagram. Because the reason I'm showing it, because I'm going to be making reference to that here very shortly. Okay. So let me show you now quickly so I can. This is the vice president on her Instagram. That thing there, it says here, "O death, where is thou sting? O death, where is your victory?" So Mobutu is gone and people are moving around here without even mourning him for a day. What is sacrifice? Oh, what is done, only what is done for God is permanent. To him who is wise, be advised. Julia Howard Taylor. This lady was hurt. There's no question asked. But I'll make reference to that here as I'm making my recommendation. Number one, Dr. Weah and his people should try to put all the old folks together. Put all the old folks together. And go and meet with this lady in Bond County. Nowhere else but Bond County. And her uncles, her cousins, her relatives will be invited. Softening her position. And have this thing resolved between you and the vice president. It has to be. It has gotten to a point now where the vice president is taking things. Look at these kinds of statements that she's making. And even if it's not towards CDC, you have the CDC launching program. She was not there. People watch these things. Number one. Second thing, Mr. President, I've always told you this. I don't know about the crew people, but in Crown, especially in my BI area, they need time to solve issues in a family gathering. They need time to reduce tension among family members. It's during death. You saw what I just read here. She's a good friend. She used to be a good friend to Mobutu. So, you can use this opportunity because you have done more so far about Mobutu's death. You have been there. And I think she's watching. And I think that she will be appreciating those type of effort that you have made. Go further than that. This is the time when she's grieving. This is the time to make her to understand that she have a shoulder to cry on as well. Not just a vice president, but that she's your friend. And when you do those things, you make her to feel that she have friends. It will be easier when you get to Bond County to have these things resolved. Here is the reason I'm making these suggestions. The last video that I just played doesn't portray you in good light. And this is not the only video. There are many, many young girls allegedly have your name all over this place, alleging X, Y, and Z. But that's not even my issues. But when the stranger take this type of information, the utilization process of those information is not the same as I'm using them here. They're going to take those information and formulate policy towards your government. And if those who are going to be formulating the policy are some of the Me Too movement and see these things, their reaction towards your government is going to be negative. And if it is negative, what exactly you think they're going to give you? They will give you the minimum. They will not go the extra mile. And you know who's going to be the referendary when it comes to Liberia now? Madam Greenfield. Madam Greenfield. She's connected to Madam Saliv now. let me throw the total idea on this a little bit too now. You know, you got to be tough, smart. So one of the things, what does Madam Celine have over her head that nobody want to talk about? War crime court. And I think she appreciates that the fact that you haven't even talked about it. You don't have to mention it. But those are things, other things they know that you have over her. And they're not going to push around, they're not going to push you guys around much. But when this thing is happening with the vice president, you have to take control of that. And so, folks, let me go ahead and open the line and try to challenge me here tonight, if you don't mind. Please don't come and start praising. Challenge me. Tell me what I'm saying is excellent. Unless you totally, you're on board. Even though you don't agree with many of the things, but at least I'm on the right track. I can see that. But I will want people to challenge me tonight that what I'm saying is all BS. That's okay. I'm not old enough to be chastised. Let's put it that way. Respectfully, that is. You can disagree with me because we all learn from these processes. The process that we go through. If you're not open to learning, you're going nowhere. If you're not open for people to tell you you're wrong, what you're doing is not right, then you're going nowhere. So please, help me out as well, okay? This is Samson to LeBron Public Radio. That's my number. Give me a call. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
How you doing, Lodi?
Not bad. How you doing?
Thank you very much. You have advised the government since I've been watching your show. This is the 455 times tonight that you've been saying, you've been bringing good suggestions, and you've been saying what you continue to say on this show. Let me congratulate you. You know, a historian, always a historian. And let me just throw a little bit of light on what you said. After President Taylor was elected, 1997, maybe you might not be in Liberia, but you might have heard as a historian, an engineer. Engineer career go with history. Little bit of it go with history. Because you're deep and deep and deep and deep before digging better. After President Taylor and the late Ino Dogole was elected as president and vice president of Liberia. When they got to Monrovia, the elite began to undermine the late Ino Dogole Jr. in Monrovia in their early stage. Then it got to the late Zoe Taylor. When the old lady heard this thing, they called Councilor Rachel Flomo. She called and other prominent Liberians, including Omer Zanza at that time, and called Tamak Taylor, and called the elderly people and told her son, if you respect yourself, If you play with Ino Dogolia, it means you have played with me. If you play with the Nima County people, your presidency will end 1997. Kida sat down and cried. Because when he was in the bush, he was one big gravel ant surrounded by the little gravel ants. Got to Monrovia, the little gravel ants turned into some gravel ants around Taylor. And the elites begin to go around Taylor to advise him in a lot of ways. I remember in George W. Bush senior administration, when James Baker sent the Honor Secretary for African Affairs, once Miss
Cracker.
She was a lady. She was the Assistant Secretary for African Affairs. Who was George Bush Secretary of State? Can you help me, man, with one of the names? That her sister. Oh Lord. I will call her name. I will call the last name. The lady was sent by Baker in 1992. President Taylor said something. At that time, he was not president. He was president for NPFL in the bigger, they used to call it Greater Liberia. This lady came the way Charles Taylor approached the lady. She was not satisfied. The late Ina Dogolia followed this lady to the Catholic compound in Banya. She approached Ina, and Ina began to preach to her. He preached, and the lady sat down and told Ina, if you were the leader, or if you was the leader of the organization, Liberia would be good. But there where Ina Dogolia trouble started from. When she left, she influenced the American government to invite to the capital. And President Taylor refused for Ina Dogolia to come to America to address the United Nations. You're talking about, you have said it all. But President Weah, with the faith that you followed, you bear on our seat for over 2 hours. The right hand. The former secretary sister, she was assistant secretary for African Affairs. Right. One of the rights. Condoleezza Rice's sister. She left that there were your brother, because total Nima County, that's the same thing, that there were your brother started from. So all of those things, to cut long matter short, nobody hit our president. This guy is a lovely guy. He's very loved by the Liberian people. But those that he's surrounding himself with, these are the people who making George Weah ugly today. It's President Weah. He listens to your show all the time. It's President Weah is listening to Bud Dino and Alphonse Davis. He's a football lover. People love him. And people at this time, Liberians still love George Weah. Look at today in Grand Bassa. But our brother problem, he doesn't listen. If I were President Weah, as I said before, if I were President Weah tonight, if Councillor Flomo, Richard Flomo, if Councillor Richard Flomo is leaving, I have not spoken to the old man for long. I learned that he's sick. Let him call Councillor Richard Flomo. Let him call the other. He was justice minister doing state administration from Lofa, Galawu. No, Galawu is there. It says Galawu. One of the judge from Lofa. He's a lawyer in Monrovia. Let him call these people. Let them go back to Joa. I know she will not agree because of the other issues. She might say yes, but this will be a very hard topic or accepting from her to the president. That President Weir remember when he said, I'm quoting to him, that Ms. Greenfield take her mouth from Liberian problem. I think it was like a year, 6 months ago, or sometime 2 years. Huh?
No, okay. All right.
Ask our judge.
Right. Okay.
Ask our judge.
He's gonna come. He's gonna be coming in here shortly.
Yeah, ask our judge. It's Liberian people business that now are doing it. Let her take a mark on Liberian business. This government that is about at least a month and 20 days, it will be tough for President Weir.
Okay. All right, Dodi.
So our country to be good. Let him talk. Let him go to people. Let him speak to that woman. She, all that thing she wrote over there, it's like she's crying. There is no hope. There is no understanding of CDC.
All right, Dodi.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's getting out of here. So, okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, folks. Let me call Pat George because my system is giving me hair wire. Pat George, please come and close it. I'm tired now to myself anyway. So, Pat George, please come and close it. Give us a call here. Give us a call so you can close this thing. Pat George, if you're listening, please give us a call so you can close it. Okay. Pat George, are you there? I'm not too sure if people are still on there. I think. Let me check my system here again. And this is. I think I'm cut off. Okay, if I am, that's fine. I think I am. Testing 1, 2. Okay. Wow. Why am I not? Oh. Okay. Why am I assistants? Back to the connection. Okay, folks. Okay, folks, Samson Toe. I'm sorry, I'm not too sure what happened here, but we're going to close the program anyway. I hope I'm still audible, which I think I am. Okay, we're going to say thank you guys, thank you very much. I'm not too sure what happened to my audio here, but many of you that was listening, we say thank you very much. We'll be back here Monday and start another program. So thank you very much for your patience. We appreciate it. And I will say good night to all of you. I'm sorry about the interruption there, But that's the nature of technology. Time to time you get it, sometimes you don't. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Good night, folks.